Ladies and gentlemen, I see y'all jumping in here already. It's about to get nasty. All right. So we're going to talk about Charlie Kirk conspiracy theory. Some idiot thinks that the mic was contaminated. I'm going to disprove that because I just live to disprove all these lies. Also, DEI hire. You won't believe what the universities are doing when it comes to hiring for professors. A truck full of monkeys. And Nick, they're not black people. You don't say that again, okay? It's a truck full of monkeys. Jump out in the crash. So we got to talk about all this. Y'all hold the phone.
If you don't believe that we are in a fight today, you're sleeping under a rock. If you get hit and you lay down and you cry and you fold up in the corner, definitely you will not win the fight. We show up to win. Our culture needs a lot of you young people in here to step up and stand out. There is nothing or no principality, power, division, devil can stop us when we're united. They can only get you when you're divided. When I see the American flag, I see us progressing to something that can be awesome and great. And if you don't plan on winning this, you might as well go on today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. Like a fat back in a Cadillac smoking crack. Oh, no, I got that from Nick. He always give me all the good jokes. Anyway, if it's funny, they're mine. If it's not funny, it's his jokes. But on a serious note, I want to talk about some of these conspiracy theories around Charlie Kirk. I mentioned this yesterday a little bit, and I felt like God wants me to be the person to debunk these things, because there's a part of me that says I'm tired of getting yelled at online and shamed because I'm not pushing conspiracy theories, because I have a little bit of background in doing investigations. So I understand that it's not worth you pushing things that could be debunked or not verifiably true if you really are genuine. If not, you can say whatever you want to say, like this next story that's coming up. Let's play clip 501. Now they're pushing this idea that somehow this police officer is intentionally contaminating the microphone. First and foremost, for people who care about facts and reality, is that there is no contamination on a microphone. It's not a part of the investigation. There's no investigative material on a microphone to start with. What are they going to get off of it? DNA? Well, they don't need DNA because this microphone wasn't even Charlie Kirk's DNA. This microphone with the cord on it was the microphone for the audience. And so all this cop probably was doing, if you want to put your thinking cap on, is that he probably was making sure the thing wasn't on, so the investigators are not walking around broadcasting everything they say on this microphone that's just sitting on the table. But if you don't believe me, let's just watch it and see what you think. Roll the clip.
That way. Go, guys, move that way. Go.
That's all he did. He picked up the mic. That was the audience mic. He checks it. He tried to speak in it. He speaks in it. Nothing there. He bangs it on the table to make sure it's off, and that's it. Why would he do that? Well, when you have been a part of law enforcement or anything else that's meaningful, you'll realize that maybe, just maybe, he was making sure that what they were saying weren't broadcast, or making sure what they were saying wasn't being pre-recorded to a device or somewhere who they had no access to. But for the lunatics that are thinking that everything that you can see in an investigation has to be somehow conspiracy, it's crazy to me. Let me add this too, because I didn't get a chance to say this yesterday, and I know I didn't tell the team to get these clips, but I kind of want to show the clips real quick. Just real quick before I get off this subject. We've been talking about Nick Fuentes' interview with Tucker Carlson, and I'm not going to let this go. I don't care that Tucker interviewed Nick. I think it's weird, but it doesn't matter. You can give a platform to whoever you want, but at least if you can challenge the guy. And so we showed the clip yesterday of all the crazy things he said about Charlie, which was never challenged. I want to play a clip of what he said about Erica. Because you would think that if I'm friends with Charlie, where he's willing to ruin his reputation or lose money because he's friends with me and we're mutually friends together, that if a guy says something about my friend's wife at minimum, if I'm interviewing you, bro, we got to talk about it. Now, I'm not soft like that. I'm going to confront you about it. Matter of fact, if you tell me about, we're going to have a conversation about this way before we interview. But at least you can bring it up. When you got a guy named, like, what they call him, Little Hitler, saying stuff like this. Roll the clip.
Skeptical on Kirk being killed by Israel. Yet Erica Kirk's mom worked with Homeland Security and DoD. Her father a chairperson/president for Raytheon Israeli Limited. Easy to find online. This same division that coordinated with Lockheed and built the Iron Dome. Now she is Pusa. Watch it become a pro-Israel advocacy group.
Dude, it is a pro-Israel. What are you talking about? What do you think Turning Point is? Do you think this was the Institute for Historical Research? Was this the Charles Martel Society? Is a Stormfront? Iron March? This is Turning Point USA. It is a pro-Israel advocacy group. What are you talking about? Were you born yesterday? That, like, you guys, that's the part I can't get over. So you're skeptical about Kirk being killed by Israel. Now his wife is taking over. Watch Turning Point become pro-Israel. Dude, they were Zog headquarters. He's coaching Lord Netanyahu on how to rape America with propaganda. What are you talking about? If Turning Point wasn't a pro-Israel outfit, what is the pro-Israel outfit?
Him directly talking about Charlie's wife. Do we have that clip, nigga? Is that the clip you post on Instagram about the wife? It's the one specifically where he said that it was a arranged marriage. All right, let's try 533. Sorry, guys.
Huh? That's crazy. To the extent, look, Erica Kirk is a spook. I've seen enough. Erica Kirk is a plant. We all know that. That is a fact. That is basically established. She was shopping around for a political husband. God knows where she comes from. She found one in Charlie Kirk. Do you think Charlie Kirk is the Riz master? He's not a good-looking guy. Dude, you know what she said on a podcast? I saw a clip of her on a podcast, and she said, I can't focus with him in the room because I'm just going to be looking at him. Now, that's some good acting. Now, you had me. Then I saw that clip. You know, maybe you had me when she did the first speech next to his chair. But when I saw that clip and she said, I'm not going to be able to focus with him in the room, he's too handsome. It's like, now that's some bad acting. That is some serious, that is a serious acting job. So I think she's a plant, obviously. But does that mean that they took him out to put her in? Not necessarily. I think that it's a political marriage. She's an operative. He's an operative. He happened to be killed. She's going to take over his responsibilities. It is what it is. I agree. I think she is not who she says she is, because there's all these clips coming out. She's in a music video. She's on these reality TV shows. I'm hearing she dated other people in the conservative movement. It's like, why is it that that's always the background? Alex Clark was on a reality show. Now she's doing a Turning Point show. Charlie Kirk's wife was on a reality show and a music video. Now she's a Turning Point. It's almost like you have these women, or people in general, but especially women, who are with a talent agency or they're with some agency. They'll do anything to be famous. They'll do anything to get in front of the spotlight. And then they find themselves marrying these like conservative guys or doing conservative political shows.
Right.
Isn't that interesting?
I think I'm done hearing it. There was a clip that was much worse than this. This is just a part of it. But this guy is saying these things about Charlie's wife. You know, I feel some type of way about it. Somebody talking about somebody. You can go and do research about his wife. You probably could have called her if you wasn't bashing her husband every day of your life, and get to the bottom of something more substantive instead of just dogging his wife out. He went on to say that his wife was a plant and that it was an arranged marriage, and that, which is implicating that she targeted Charlie. He even said at some point that it was suspicious that somebody knew somebody that connected them, and not like it's an arranged suspicious marriage. And if I were to interview him, I'd push back and say, what do you know that make you say something like that about that man's wife? What would make you talk about a dead man's wife in a derogatory way? Unless you hate the guy. And what happens, he does hate Charlie Kirk. And how do you interview a guy that hates your friend the way he hates your friend and don't even push back on nothing that he said? We showed a highlight tape yesterday of things he said, and there's way more stuff than that. I mean, this guy was on the internet. He got banned for I don't know how long. All the crazy stuff he said about Charlie, all the name calling, all the shaming of his family, all the shaming of Turning Point, which is everything that Charlie Kirk built. And you go as a friend and interview the guy, and you don't even talk about that. He said he's a big fan of Joseph Stalin. And you go, All right, I can go on and on. Let's play the Frank Turek clip, the 502.
It sucks too, because you listen to people like Candace Owens, like right now with her conspiracy theories and stuff, and like, I don't know, man. I'm getting more and more thinking the best thing that could happen to humanity is the internet could go down.
Yeah, as soon as we lose Wi-Fi, we're all upset, but that might be the best thing that happens to us. By the way, I haven't followed a lot of what Candace Owens has done, but I will say what I have seen, there's a difference between a possibility and evidence for a possibility. You can speculate on anything you want, but unless you have evidence, shut up. Okay? Because all you're doing is causing dissension among the brothers, which is something the Lord hates. If you want to present a possibility and say, well, this could be true, okay, it could be true, but don't accuse people for doing something for which you have no evidence.
All right, let me jump in here real quick. So I've met Frank Turek before. I know Frank Turek. I consider him to be a person I can call on the phone right now. I could call Frank Turek. He'll pick up the phone right now. Let's make the main thing about the main thing, because I think a lot of people, and I'm guilty of this sometimes, name dropping people, but it's the concept that's more important than the personality. It's what is being spewed that's more important than who is spewing it per se, because it's not just one person that have this theology. It's not just one group of people. It's a whole movement of people that think that they can get online and say things without verifying them, and that's considered evidence. I'm just trying to help the people that want to be helped. For the rest of y'all, I couldn't care less, okay? We need to be very cognizant of who we listen to, what fact patterns that we're associating ourselves with. And I'm just encouraging people to slow down for a second. If I could get into the brains of everybody I see online that's just spreading and saying and tweeting and commenting all this stuff, there's a very big difference between asking a question, meaning I did my due diligence to research this stuff, and this is something that is complicated outside of the realm of explanation that I not only have, but that I believe I have access to. Then to just say anything that you see, it's got to be a question mark. Charlie Kirk is sitting at neck at a 45-degree angle. That's suspicious. Look at the lady that's sitting next to Frank Turek, the woman in the white hat. Why is she looking at Charlie right before he gets shot? Frank Turek has his phone out. Why is his phone pointing in the direction of Charlie Kirk? And why is he adjusting his hat? And the other guy adjusting his sleeve. It must be something afoot. These things in a rational perspective or a rational investigatory perspective is nothing that people would be looking at. Because then you have to go from point A to point B and acknowledge, well, what am I accusing this person of being associated with? If somebody moves their hat like this, Charlie gets shot, before I publicly say, wow, that's suspicious, I need to compartmentalize, well, how far is he standing away from Charlie? And what is a signal that you would give to a person that will snipe another person? He's standing about 12 to 15 feet to the left of Charlie. If a person is shooting Charlie, hand signals would not be an option. A person at 200 yards only have an optic view of probably this much. They are not looking at Charlie and looking at the other guy doing a signal. That's impossible. That's irrational. You cannot rely on a delay of a person's hand signal to decide when you're going to take a shot on a person when the option is open. So then you say, I rule that out. I'm not going to publicize that to my audience. I'm not going to publicize that online. I'm not going to share any tweets associated with that because I've ruled out that being a possibility. Same with the sleeve movement. A sniper is not going to be looking at a person that's standing off to the left of Charlie when he's trying to hit Charlie while he's moving back and forth with the mic. So then you say it's a security team. That coordination is out of the realm of reasonableness. Then I'm not going to even present that as an option because it's not viable. Somebody, freaking out after they watch their friend get shot in the neck and they run this way. If I'm going to make an accusation against that person to say what they're doing is suspicious, then I need to say, what is it about their suspicion that make me think it's associated with Charlie Kirk's death? What is it about Terrell's behavior? It's not the fact that he did what he did. It's that, well, what association do you think it actually has? A person being frightened and run and make a video they never published, what's the accusation? They've abandoned Charlie? So that means that they didn't really love him like they said they did? Well, then, before you present it to your audience and make it a hypothesis, you got to say, well, they're not trained professionals. Charlie Kirk is probably spending $1 million a year to have 7 to 12 people follow him to all these events and protect him on stage. So therefore, when the rubber hit the road, a reasonable person would believe that they already have a game plan, which involves the people that he spent millions of dollars on to protect him, not Mikey and Terrell and the video team and random people in the audience. A matter of fact, if you are to interfere, you are the problem. You should not be interfering with first responders. And in this fact, he has private first responders that's probably carrying a tourniquet, that's probably carrying Israeli bandage, that's probably carrying quick clot, that's probably carrying a Halo chest seal, that's got gauze, that's got all of these things in their fanny packs and on their person. You having a camera phone in your hand ain't gonna do nothing to save Charlie. You are not trained medically. You don't even know how to pack a wound. So what are you doing down there but interfering with the experts and the professionals? So I often like to say, before you believe a conspiracy, slow down for a minute and evaluate it first. Listen to experts on the topic first. Because I'm seeing so many people talking crazy to me saying, oh, Brandon, people just asking questions. That's not asking a question. Saying, is there a tunnel or is there multiple assailants when you have no assailants afoot? That's not generally asking questions. Charlie Kirk had to be killed by somebody other than the shooter. I'm going to say this and I'm going to move on to my next topics because I want to get to these monkeys, real monkeys, real monkeys, okay? I'm totally making this up. Nick never, he did actually say that. He was joking, though. It was a joke. It wasn't real. He's a comedian on his second life. So I lost my train of thought. So what I'm saying is that if you evaluate it like this, and then I'm gonna move on. If a person is saying, hey, I'm just asking questions, then evaluate what direction do the questions often go. Do they only go towards Robinson not being a suspect? Because I would argue there's a lot of questions that could be asked about Robinson's involvement, about the people who knew he did it, about the Discord channel, about the text messages, about all these other things that are associated with Robinson, about the court hearing, about the suppression of evidence, about the jury selection. Like there's a lot of other stuff on that side that could be asked. But if you never ask questions on both sides, are you really trying to get to the bottom of something? Somebody wrote a comment here and it says, Army combat vet, I love you and Candace, brother. Don't let social pull you apart ever, family. You're good people. Well, Ain't nothing's gonna pull me and Candace apart. I just texted her earlier today because I did an interview and I mentioned her name in the interview. And when I mentioned her name in the interview or she mentioned me, she texted me and say, hey, bro, I just want you to know this is coming out and this is what I said. I love you back. That's it. Now, I am frustrated with some stuff that is said, but that's not going to change a person's personal relationship. So if you guys are thinking somehow that Candace and I in a personal life or somehow beefing and we hate each other, some things I disagree with, but person to person, we hash it out. So when you're in the comment section, y'all need to unite and everything. It's people are going to disagree with each other on certain topics. And as a former law enforcement officer, I'm going to disagree when I see things that are said that I disagree with, when I see tactics that I disagree with, when I have evidence of things that I know from talking and communicating with people that I know, and then I see people put out things that are not accurate, I'm going to have a disagreement. And that's not limited to 1 or 2 or 3 people. Anybody that's saying things that I disagree with, I'm going to make them known. Now let's get to these monkeys, okay? Let's get to the monkey. That didn't come out right. But I love y'all anyway. But before we get to the monkeys, I gotta say this before. This is a short story. I gotta say this before we get to these monkeys that then jumped out this car and they infected with all kind of stuff and they jumping on people and everything. All right, before we get there, I want to talk about the university and how DEI on the university that they claim don't exist is insane. It's insufferable. And I would argue that the biggest threat to people or biggest threat to America isn't Netanyahu them. It's our universities. The next generation of people are coming from these universities. Money is being spent at these universities from foreign governments to the tune of billions of dollars. And they're woke and they're radical and they're destroying America. Let's get to this story. University of Washington scraps a DEI-based job posting. This man is going to explain what the job posting was and why I'm critical of the DEI implications. Roll the clip.
For new hires, we require a diversity statement. In the Allen School, where I teach computer science, we basically have 3 different main measures. There's their research, their teaching, and DEI, their diversity statement. So, and these rubrics say things like, they used to say you have to agree with the equity agenda, with the DEI movement. Now you have to say that you have deep knowledge of the DEI in order to get a high rating on all of this. The funny thing is, I'm convinced I would not be hired if I applied today. There's just no way, even though I've won the Distinguished Teaching Award here at the university. So, they want you. Well, I'll give you an example of something they'll ask you. What have you done specifically for Black students in your teaching? And I would say, I don't do anything specifically for Black students. I have done a lot to try to make sure that struggling students have the resources that they need to succeed. But I don't think about Black students in particular and what they need. I just, do this for all students. That's not an acceptable answer. I'm supposed to say what I've done specifically for Black students. Otherwise, I'm not working towards equity.
Y'all know how insane this is? This is at the University of Washington. My son was just talking to me, and we were talking about colleges that he may go to, and I said, you might want to go to University of Washington because he got family that live in Washington State. Now I'm thinking, F no, you're not going to that university. I don't want to lose my son to the university propaganda. They literally are asking people, what are you doing specifically for Black people? Imagine if they were asking people, what are you specifically doing to help white people? The university would burn down. At HBCUs, are they worried about equity and inclusion at an HBCU? No, they're not. Are they going to ask people, we don't have enough white people at HBCUs? And they expect the teacher to, let me tell you what this is as an implication for Black people. I think you think we stupid. This is why y'all need special treatment for us, like we little special needs kids. We are capable of learning just like anybody else. We are capable of getting test scores just like anybody else. We're capable of studying and becoming great educators, just like anybody else. But when these white folks, I'm finna call y'all out. It ain't all white people. It's not Nick. When you white folks that suffer from white guilt, that ain't never met a black person, and in your mind, you see us like the monkeys that fell out of that truck that crashed on the freeway, and we just helpless, running around scattered with no options, and you go, oh, poor Negroes. Let me cheat the system for you because you're too dumb to actually study. You're too dumb to have enough personal responsibility to go to class on time. So let us make special treatment for you dummies. And so when we go hire white people, we go, hey, white people, you know the dumb Negroes over there? They just not smart enough. What are you doing to help the dummies? That's what you're saying to us. Because I know a lot of people that were valedictorian, went to college, graduated summa cum laude, a whole bunch of black people. Black people on my team, 2 majors while being a captain on the football team and winning the Thorpe Award. Antoine Cason, double majored. I didn't barely want to go to class. He double majored. We had guys with straight 4.0 GPA. Black guys. What are y'all saying? We can't do it. What if you really cared about black lives and you really cared about the success of black people, you help them on the front end, not on the back end. You help them when you have opportunities to these lower performing schools that are predominantly black. Make sure that the education is fair. And when you can, as a teacher, you make sure you support your students and give them the best opportunity they can. And then when it's time to go to college, they got to compete like everybody else do. What is so hard about that? Y'all don't do that for Mexicans. Y'all just do that. Y'all put the poor black man. I saw some black idiots, pastors praying for Mom Dunny. This is why y'all gonna struggle as a group, and y'all gonna still let these white people tell you you stupid and you're not equal to everybody else. Because y'all out here supporting Mom Dunny. Mom Dunny ain't done nothing and ain't promised nothing for black people in New York. And y'all praying for him. My brother, he my brother. Just stupid. But anyway, I think people need to be aware of what's going on at the University of Washington and the biases that they're bestowing. Let's get to the monkeys. I know y'all wanted to get to these monkeys, man. Let's play a clip of what happened. And this was kind of spooky, but what does this mean to me? I often wonder, could this be a situation where they got these contaminated monkeys and they crash and they let them out and they start biting people right before the midterm and everybody's sick and they're going to shut the country down? Why are you even transporting monkeys that are sick in the first place that you've intentionally infected? Why are they in a container that can even be escapable? Why, like when you secure these animals that are riddled with viruses? Roll the clip.
Tonight, the alarming scene on Interstate 59 in Mississippi, a truck carrying research monkeys possibly infected from hepatitis to COVID crashing on the highway. Here's Mola Lengi.
Tonight, the urgent search for dangerous research monkeys that escaped from the wreckage of a crash on a Mississippi highway.
We got 21 monkeys that was on this. We got 5 of them on the run.
Video showing several monkeys crawling in the grass. Heavily armed officers responding to the scene. Authorities say a truck carrying nearly 24 rhesus monkeys from Tulane University overturned on Interstate 59 in Jasper County.
Here's one of the monkeys right here. There's one sitting right there.
At least 6 monkeys escaping. Officials warning they might be aggressive towards people and were potentially infected with hepatitis C, herpes, and COVID.
They may have to neutralize something out here in a minute.
And late today, police confirming all but one of the escaped monkeys have been euthanized for public safety reasons, adding they're still actively searching for that one monkey still on the loose.
Well, David, the monkeys that did not escape from the truck are said to be okay and accounted for, David.
All they need is one to bite somebody. Now, somebody need to explain to me, why are y'all got monkeys infected with hepatitis B, herpes and COVID? What does those got to do with each other? How you get hepatitis B, herpes, and COVID? They don't even seem like they in the same family of diseases. What are y'all doing with these monkeys? And then they get out and they running amok, and one of them got away. That sounds like a mother freaking movie. Then now everybody gonna die because this thing done bit one person or it bite an animal. And now all of a sudden, it was the monkeys that one of them got away, and that one ruined the country. And why in Mississippi? I wonder. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do wonder. Now, I'm not going to say anything other than I think it's crazy that they infected monkeys and that thing crashed on the freeway with no other cars involved. It didn't seem like it was no other cars involved. And the truck is fine. The person in the truck is fine, but the trailer all messed up and monkeys jumping out of it. But one of them got away. Now, I think, yeah, we covered a few of these. But officials said that the truck driver had described the monkeys as dangerous. Oh, he's not describing a flip over. We didn't say the monkeys were crawling through tall grass. This is going to be a movie in a minute. The site was located 100 miles southeast of Jackson, Mississippi. Truck overturned, remained under investigation. The truck by itself overturned. 100 miles out. I mean, that's a long way to run and bite. So maybe they won't get to some people. Or some dumb Karen is going to be like, oh, look at this cute monkey. You shouldn't treat the monkeys like that. They're killing the monkeys. I mean, rescue this one. It's going to bite her in the neck, and she's going to turn green, and that's going to be the Antichrist. No, I'm just playing. I'm playing. I jumped to a big conclusion. I'm joking, y'all. Don't get mad at me. You're spreading conspiracy theories. Let's get to the next story. Emily Austin and Anna Kasparian. Let me say this about Anna Kasparian. She is the most ignorant woman on the internet right now. She top 5, at least. She got to be top. I see some Sunny Holston. There's a few other ones. Let me not lie. She top 5, though. And let me tell you how stupid these people are. And you will find, and I'm talking about for my people that's smart. Now, for the rest of the trolls in the comment section, say what you want to say. Listen to what she say to this girl, Emily. And I've debated with Emily. I've seen her content, and I've seen Anna Kasparian's content. Listen to what she say about the Jews. They are obsessed with the Jews. If it wasn't for Jew haters, I wouldn't even be talking about the Jews as much. Like, I got to keep combating Jew hate because they can't get the Jews out of their mouth. Okay, roll the clip.
Pointing to that and saying America's a hypocrite. America's abetting war crimes. So in that
Which
case,
country said that? Russia, China,
our adversaries.
or telling us
You
they
should
were
take,
doing
Emily,
war
you should
crimes.
take a good look at what Kyiv looks like versus
don't
what
look at
Gaza
me.
City looks
Wait,
like.
do not ridicule me. I can see that look of disdain on your face.
It's hypocrisy, not
No,
disdain.
let me
Okay.
finish my point. They're pointing to other countries. When they try to find allies in South America, Africa, all around the world, they say, don't hang out with the United States. Hang out with us. Because at least we are not abetting atrocities in Israel. At least we are not hypocrites. That's what I mean. Because they are winning the propaganda war against us. Everything is about propaganda and the war. They don't want an American-led world order. They are trying to topple us. Do you understand? They are trying to topple the American empire. And so this matters. The story around America matters.
It does.
American values matters. We cannot be seen as abetting atrocities. We cannot have the blood of 67,000 women and children on our hands.
So, all right, first of all, again, it's a
I
war.
used to like her. But after she say this, like, we have the blood of 67 Gazans on our hands. You talking about because of propaganda, or are you talking about because it's our fault? First of all, we haven't fought in that war at all. Second of all, Hamas is responsible for their own people's demise because they hide behind them. We already know the scenario. But you want to blame and act like America should abandon our values and abandon our allies because other people are saying that we're implicated somehow. Man, who gives up what other people say? We live in reality. We live in real life. And the weak wussiness of people is what bothers me. You shouldn't hang around China saying you shouldn't hang around Israel. China, really? China? Slave labor China? Literally harvesting organ China? They are harvesting people's organs. I saw the documentary. People are alive, and they go in their chest, they take their heart out while they're alive. Therefore, they can give people heart transplants on the spot with no waiting time. The Falun Gong is getting just eviscerated. China is the one from the Wuhan lab that allowed COVID-19 to spread around the world. And they killed all their people and stuff, so they protected themselves. But everybody else got sick and shut down. The economy was China. Talking about Israel? What are y'all saying? Who's against Israel? Oh, okay. They got a common theme. We're not allies with them, and their government sucks. All right, let it continue. Roll it.
Second of all, my thing is, when I say they coincide with values, what would you say in the entire Middle East is the closest country to the United States in terms of fair elections, allowing LGBTQ people?
It's an apartheid state. How are you going to say it's fair elections?
Okay,
Palestinians.
Okay, time out. She's a dumb. Behave yourself, Brandon. Behave yourself. You know how stupid you have to be to say it's an apartheid state. Do you know how stupid you have to be to say it's an apartheid state? The people watching this, do you know what an apartheid represents? That's a clear division of race, division by race, right? In apartheid South Africa, white versus blacks. That means this race don't have the same access and don't have the same rights as another race. That's what an apartheid is. In Israel, right now, Arabs have every right to almost everything that the Jews have, probably everything. Arab Israelis serve in the Knesset, they serve in the military, you name it. They vote. How is it an apartheid if Jews and Arabs have the same rights in Israel? What are you saying? You ignorant? Behave yourself. Because as you claim it's an apartheid blaming Israel, Jews have no access to the West Bank where the Palestinians live. They have no access to Gaza at all. So who is perpetuating an apartheid state? The Palestinians or the Israelis? But since you're a dumb, I want to cuss. Nick, Nick, can you cuss for me? I'm just playing. All right, let this garden tool finish what she's saying.
Aren't allowed to vote, and they're not even allowed to have their own state. They're not. Benjamin Netanyahu said multiple times, "I will not allow the Palestinians to have their own state."
You know why? Because
they're stuck
like
in a situation. Oh my God!
Wait, if you were Prime Minister Netanyahu,
there's no Hamas in the West Bank, Emily. There's no Hamas in the
PLO pay for slave.
Oh, the PLO too. They're Palestinians. So by nature, being Palestinians, they shouldn't be allowed.
We're giving you $10,000. Is that a person you would give a state? Because you're saying you're making it seem like the PLO are the good guys now. Man, when they stop funding people to kill Jews, maybe Netanyahu should negotiate with them. But until they stop raising their kids to say, hey, I know you want to go work and become an engineer, but if you kill a Jew, you'll get $10,000 per Jew.
The PLO is killing Jews in the West Bank. The PLO is on its knees.
Pay for slay.
Beyond deferential to the Israelis, doing everything they can to show we're being peaceful. Let us have our own state.
What about
We're doing everything came in peaceful. The last shooting that made my wife say you can't go to Israel was when, from the West Bank, the Arabs came over and shot a bunch of people at a bus stop. What are we saying, y'all? They're shooting missiles over. They're attacking people. They cheered in October 7th from the West Bank. What are y'all saying? It's an apartheid state. She is so stupid. Arabs, when the war happened and the Palestinian forces displaced their own people, they made them all go to the West Bank because they thought they were going to beat Israel and they would have them come back after the war. But they lost. So they displaced all their own people. But there was 2 million Arabs that said, I don't want to be a part of the West Bank. They joined Israel and became Israeli citizens. What are you saying? Arabs work in Israel. I went to Israel. I was in Israel for 2 weeks. I saw all the Arabs coming up from Gaza working in Israel. What are you saying? You ignorant. Roll the clip.
But what do they keep doing? What do they keep doing? They keep building illegal settlements. They keep building illegal settlements. They keep building illegal settlements.
What is pay for
but you don't care, right? You don't care.
What is
Let me go in your neighborhood. What are you saying?
That's what they do in the West Bank. The PLO funds people to kill Jews. Has this not been something you've been informed of?
Have you not seen these
pay for slay. How about this?
You
I
live
think
in an alternate
Jews should be
universe.
allowed to live in the West Bank.
I don't.
Why
I don't.
are Jews
no,
not
I don't.
allowed?
I don't.
So you believe in apartheid?
Because they
then?
keep building
When it comes to
illegal
Jews,
settlements.
what
They're
if I build a house
land,
legally? I buy
Emily.
land.
They're stealing land.
They don't want Jews in the West
Why
Bank.
don't they let the
That's
Palestinians
apartheid.
build houses in
There's
Israel?
2.8 million Arabs in Israel living better lives in Israel and the West Bank and Gaza combined. You just hate Jews. I will not.
No, I don't hate Jews.
Then why can't they live in the West Bank?
I hate disgusting,
Why can't they live in the West
vile
Bank?
propaganda.
Why can't a Jew live in
human
Gaza?
beings like trash like
Why
you?
can't a Jew live in the West Bank, Anna?
No, it's fucking pathetic. All right, let's move on.
Look who. All you got to do when you wonder who is winning the argument is the one who's cussing and losing their mind is the one losing. She's the one losing. There is pay to slay. The PLO is paying people money when they kill a Jew. That's why you see them still going over there doing terrorist attacks. When have you seen a terrorist attack where a Jewish person, go and blow themselves up over in Gaza? It didn't happen. But they come over into Israel and blow themselves up. When have you ever seen Israelis go over into Gaza and start killing random citizens and taking them hostage and beheading them and putting it on camera? When have you ever seen something like that? It don't exist. They come over into Israel and do these atrocities. They still got hostages. Matter of fact, do we got that video of them fake burying people? It was from the story from yesterday. Let's play that video. I think I don't have the sheet. Just in case you think I'm making this up. They got caught on camera, drone footage, lying. They literally are taking hostages that they killed, and then they're burying them, and then they go and lift them up in the crane and take them out to the humanitarian or the Red Cross and say, we found this person in the rubble. Watch what they do. Look at it. They throw a body out the window. You see them throwing that body out the window? They drag it over there, right? Already set, shallow grave. Then they start burying it. Look at what these people doing, man. They burying it. Why the body was in the house? Why they pull it out and bury it on the side of the place like this? Just watch. Keep watching. Then they go and get the thing to shovel up the rubble that they claim. The rubble from the airstrikes. And they say, whoa, we discovered something as we're digging up the rubble. And then they go and pull it out right here. They go get it. Oh, no, that's what they do. They do it, and then now they trying to discover it. Wow, we just discovered this body. They're taking a picture of it. Look, they're taking photos of it. Explain to me what is going on here. But when you're a Jew hater, when you hate the Jews, because you have no other, I don't know, people are sick. They got a sickness. You are willing to believe everything that the Hamas says. Anna Kasparian is a nut job. You see how she's cussing and screaming at that girl? That girl is literally just saying, what about paid to kill or whatever they have? Pay to slay. It's already been verified that that's a true thing that they do, and she won't even acknowledge it. It's an apartheid state, and apartheid means the division of races. Jews and Arabs have equal access in Israel, but they don't want to be a part of Israel, so they want to be a part of the West Bank. And anybody that know anything about the mapping of the West Bank, it's not just the West Bank like this. It's sections in the West Bank where Palestinians live. There are also parts of the West Bank that's controlled by Israel. But nobody said anything when Jordan owned the West Bank, only when Israel has the West Bank. And that is a problem now. Oh, my God, it's a problem. Israelis own the West Bank. The Palestinians have sections where they live, A, B, C, whatever. The Israelis can go over and build property on the West Bank land that they own. And now they're taking over the West Bank and doing all this stuff. It's all deception. It's all deception. I have been to Israel. I bet Anna Kasparian has never been to Israel before. I was there. I shopped. I bought from Arab people. They have their little section where they have the Jews and they have the Arabs. And you go buy stuff from the Arabs that sell, you buy stuff from the Jews. You go to the hotel, when it was Shabbat, the Jews weren't there. The Arabs were running the hotel. And when the Arabs had their holiday, the Jews were at the hotel. They worked in tandem together at every site that we went to, from the West Bank to Israel, the mainland of Israel. We went to the Dead Sea. We went all over Israel. And these people are not living in an apartheid state. They kind of just, I think they're just like the people that live in the hood. They don't take care of their stuff. We go to the Christian sites in the West Bank, they got cars and trash all in the yard. It's like, you ain't got to be rich to clean your yard up. All right. Let's move on to the next one. What are we going to do for Save Storks? I mean, not Save Storks, but the thing. You pick one yet? We may have to do it tomorrow. All right, let's get to the last two stories, because one is a little more serious, and I'm gonna finish it with a softer note. This one is more serious. The Charlie Kirk Halloween thing. I was debating whether or not I was gonna do the Charlie Kirk Halloween stories, because these people are so degenerate, it makes me upset. But I want the world to see what kind of silly people are out there that will be mocking the death of Charlie Kirk. I will put my life on it, that if a Democrat was assassinated like Charlie Kirk in public, that Republicans would not be mocking that person. They would not be wearing costumes of that person's death or not. But liberals and leftists, they are evil and deranged. And they have it as a badge of honor to make fun of a man that lost his life to political violence. This is one. Halloween kid, the freedom shirt, a microphone, and I guess blood, fake blood coming down. Where the next one? Look at these people. Do you know how crazy you got to be to dress up like this and go into public? And I'm glad they face out here, because I want people to see these people. If you know these people, you know what kind of person they are. Don't let them mock you or do that. You know exactly what kind of person these people are if they're mocking the death of somebody. Look at this. Evil. Evil. Where's the next one? The rapper. And this guy, at least if you're gonna do this, you gotta know how to rap. God dang, this dude's trash at rapping. Come on, play the clip. Ain't even on beat.
They built the machine on a mountain of lies. Sold fear on the airwaves, venom disguised. Red hats chanting puppets in a row. But the truth hits the system, bullet to the throat explodes. Foxfire out, the echo is gone. No more poison sermons at the break of dawn. They preach hate loud, but the crowd got wise. If empathy is fake, then your slogan crumbles and dies. Every ancestor whispers through the breeze. Revolution grows in the crack of your disease. No more walls, no racist agenda. The death spell tolls with a bullet for the offender. I got a smirk for a Kirk that got murked. No more hateful speech, just justice and work. The lies decay and the signal is done. The people have risen and the future has won. Charlatans crumble in their own disguise.
I can't do it no more. White people, if y'all gonna rap, y'all gotta hang around black people a little more. If you're going to rap, you got to hang around black people a little more. Or you got to sit at home and play the beat. Listen to some rappers or something. Because, bro, your rhyme was off and your rhythm was off. You got to finish it's like 16 bars. You got to finish the hook. You got to finish it and go to the next one. You got to finish it. You trash at rapping, and then you go mock somebody's death. And then you wrote a rap about it that's trash. God. You can't make this stuff up. We got another one. 7:05.
Halloween is coming up, which is All Saints Day. But let's just be honest. Halloween
before we
is.
Play it, this is a clip of Halloween explaining. A clip of Charlie Kirk explaining Halloween. Roll it.
A dark, dark day. Not a fan of it. It's what you do with it. Not a fan of all the kind of dressing up and all that nonsense. I don't like it. And if you are a Christian, you must be, and by the way, if you're also a Jew, because this is a Old Testament law, you must not engage in any of these practices of the occult. I find that there is far too much kind of joking around and playing loose and fast with this stuff. There is legit darkness that can be channeled.
Now, I agree with Charlie, but I also would like to add, if you're going to say that Halloween, y'all going to be mad at me on this. I'm going to get a happy story here in a minute. Y'all going to be mad at me on this, but it's okay. I still love you anyway. In addition to what Charlie's saying, if you're going to make Halloween out to be a bad holiday, so is Christmas. And so is Easter. And all these other pagan holidays that have been introduced into the Christian faith. Now, my personal thoughts is, what do you do with the holiday is pretty much what the holiday stands for. If you want to dress your kids up as something and you walk around the neighborhood and get some candy, and if that's what you going for, then that's fine. If you worshiping the devil on Halloween, then you got a problem. Okay? A little scary, spooky stuff. I mean, that's just like people saying you can't watch scary movies. I mean, you watching scary movies, you summoning demons too. But if you got the Holy Spirit in you, you shouldn't be worried about it. But I understand why people don't celebrate Halloween. I get it. I don't blame people for that. But also, don't forget Christmas. Old Saint Nick, not that Nick, but old Saint Nick is a fake person. Close your kids' ears if y'all still plan on getting them presents. Old Saint Nick is not biblical whatsoever. That's not biblical whatsoever. Jesus never celebrated Christmas and old Saint Nicholas getting presents. It's a made up holiday. And to be honest, most Christians know more about Christmas as the holiday than they do about the reason that we celebrate the holiday. Matter of fact, Jesus wasn't even really born during the winter. But I don't want to get in trouble with y'all. But y'all got every day, y'all think y'all got a old white man giving your kids gifts when it's really Jesus that blessed you to get your kids the gift. Y'all got him as an idol to your kids. And they love him more than Jesus. You want to bet me? Tell your kids that Santa Claus coming and tell them Jesus coming. They rather Santa Claus come. Because you got Santa Claus in a position that Jesus is supposed to be in. If you naughty or nice, Santa Claus make that decision? I thought it was Jesus that made the decision to bless you if you were cutting up or you not. Oh, but all right, I'm just saying, if you want to celebrate it, you celebrate it. Let's go on to the Easter egg bunnies. You know where that come from? That's pagan theology. That's pagan worship. It's Easter eggs and that stupid bunny. They got nothing to do with Jesus Christ. Some of y'all call it Easter. Easter is not in the Bible. It's Passover Sunday. They call it Resurrection Sunday. That's what you should be calling at your church. But people out here got their kids running around getting these eggs off the ground from a rabbit. and got Jesus nowhere in their house. They going Easter, everything's about Easter, it ain't about Jesus. They ain't even telling their kids who Jesus is. Now, I'm just throwing it out there. Y'all get mad at me if you want to. But all I'm saying is that you need to be mindful of what you are representing when you celebrate any of these things. I take my kids out to go look at the little eggs and stuff, but we go to church and we talk about Jesus. But I take them to look at the eggs. I'm not buying into that pagan stuff. And that's just for my kid. I want nothing to do with it. But the kid like to go around and hunt and stuff, and I let him do the little hunt. But all I'm saying is you're going to criticize one, you got to criticize all of them. That's my main point here. All right? I love you, Charlie. But, hey, on Easter, y'all out there with them Easter eggs too. All right, let me move it. Let me move it on along. All right, this is the funniest thing I've seen on the internet. Hopefully you love this, leaving this show. I just want to say to y'all, I've never done this before. Can y'all we need to host a Zoom etiquette class. How do y'all get caught on Zoom naked, get caught on Zoom having sex? Y'all get, this one lady, and I hate to say it, it's a friend of mine with a major Zoom conference with thousands of people on there. This woman get out the shower, take the boobs out, rub lotion on them on the Zoom. Doing this on the Zoom. And everybody in the company on that page, they can see that page, saw this woman doing. And they can't, you don't want to draw attention to it like, hey, Becky, Turn the camera off. Then everybody looking at Becky now. Oh, they go to where's Becky on here? Y'all, maybe I'm just, look at this cop. He in court supposed to testify via Zoom. And my man got his pee-pee out. Wrote a clip.
On the record, please.
Yes, Officer Jackson, badge number 3919, out of the 12th precinct.
God dang, bro.
He got to ask the camera judge.
You got some pants on, officer?
Sir, they're in the... No, sir.
Officer Jackson, okay, Miss Lee.
He went so crazy. The judge said, "You got some pants on, dog?" I mean, officer. Homeboy had the wang out on the Zoom call. Didn't crop the camera right. How does that happen, bro? When I'm on Zoom, I can see myself on the Zoom. Maybe he was trying to get some points from the clerk or something. I don't know. Maybe he thought he'd be innocent. And what if he had to? Now Nick gave us a good point. What if he had to stand up and his thing come out? Judge say, "Man, sit down. Put your pee-pee away on trial." But anyway, I thought I'd end with something a little more lighthearted. But at the end of all this, I want to finish it with this. Study your Bible. Study these conspiracies that you hear. People should verify what they're saying before you believe them. Go do your own research on everything you hear Brandon Tatum say. And if you find that something I say is wrong, let me know. Because I don't think I'm ever wrong. And maybe I am. Let me know. Outside of that, I pray y'all have a wonderful day. God bless you. God bless America. I'm out of here.
On the land of the free.